educate you how you should arouse a man.
A man shouldn't need it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
You go, Norma. Norma Shearer. Oh, so wonderful. That film is one of many, I'm sure, that Mick LaSalle is showing as part of a class he's teaching at UC Berkeley. And
Yes.
Mick LaSalle joins us now.
Yes, I'm here.
What the heck do you do again? The Chronicle. Yeah, you know, that paper.
Yeah, that paper.
Yeah, but you and I are old friends. I mean, you know, we share a great love of classic Hollywood.
You bet. Yeah, well, the class is called Before the Code, The Modern Woman in Early Hollywood Films. And this is about the emergence of the modern woman in, really, in the films and the 20th century, you know, coming into the 20th century.
Here's the information. Before the Code, The Modern Woman in Early Hollywood Films. And Mick has a lot of interesting things to say about that at the UC Extension.
Yeah.
And we'll remind you of the phone number at the end.
Great.
So who were these women? And when was the code, first of all?
Okay, well, the production code comes into effect, into enforcement in the middle of 1934. And it comes down like an axe. I mean, you can tell the difference between a movie from, March of '34 and October. It's night and day difference. So you have about 5 years when the talkies first came in, around 29, and the code comes in, where cinema was really free to, show the darker side of life and to show the sexier side of life. And it's funny also that during that period, or maybe not surprising, that this was a great period of films for women. And so you have women like Garbo, Stanwyck, Shearer, Harlow, Kay Francis, people we don't know that well, or a lot of people don't know, Constance Bennett, people like that, making really, really interesting, and not just risque, but kind of socially important, and movies that I think set a trend and set the tone for, like, you know, the next 60, 70 years. And made the kinds of movies that weren't even attempted, actually, for like the 30 years of the code, you know, until the early 60s. So it's a very, very important period, and it's very refreshing to see these people behaving like human beings.
It is, and they don't get punished for it.
No, they don't.
That's so important in these movies.
Very much.
Norma, what's the divorcee?
No, she doesn't get punished.
She doesn't get punished for it.
Yes, I know. One of the, people talk about the 40s as being a great age for women's pictures, but strong women like Hepburn and Rosalind Russell, they do a lot of apologizing in the last 10 minutes of their films very often. And Shearer didn't, and, well, Garbo did, but Garbo enjoyed apologizing. You know, Garbo was such a martyr.
So dramatic, you know,
Yeah,
everything was so dramatic with her.
But Harlow and people like that, it was, Constance Bennett, it was a great period, and people don't know about it, and they never get to see these films, unless they go to the Roxy, you know, once a year to see some of them.
Right. So there's a chance to see it on the big screen in beautiful black and white and all those lovely shades of gray.
Yes.
And what's another, we have a clip from another film that you'll be showing.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you this. This is a movie called Mary Stevens, M.D., and it's with Kay Francis. Kay Francis has the dark hair, and she is going out with a married man, and she's a physician, and that's all you need is a setup for the clip.
Okay, roll it.
Now, take a good grip on that desk. Plant your feet firmly and prepare for the shock of your life. What? I'm going to have a baby.
Would you mind saying that again slowly?
Pleasure. I said I'm going to have a baby.
I guess I better sit down before I fall down.
What's so funny about it? I didn't invent the idea. Women have been having babies for a long while.
Yeah, I know, but well, I just never suspected you.
I don't know whether that's a sincere compliment or a dirty dig.
Does anybody else know?
Not a soul. Just we two.
And you're happy about it?
Walking on air.
Well then, darling, so am I.
Thanks, Glenda.
As long as everything's all settled, why don't you tell Don? Of course it is.
Of course, you goose. He gets the good news tonight.
If he thinks it's...
Kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That was Mary Stevens, M.D., part of Mick LaSalle's program at UC Berkeley.
Yes.
And you were just saying that was Glenda Farrell, who I didn't recognize at that age.
Yeah. Oh, really? See, I only know her young.
She ages in movies and becomes kind of patrician.
Really?
Later on in her career.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But you know, Kay Francis was big,
Yeah,
really big.
she was
in the
a big
movies.
star.
Yeah.
And especially in this period. This is 1933.
She's going to have a baby in this movie with a guy who's married?
She has a baby with a guy who's married, and she's not not an evil person, and she doesn't, you know, die at the end of the movie. And she's a doctor, and she's not a bad doctor, and nobody makes her apologize for being a doctor.
There's this movie that Barbara Stanwyck made about this time where she sleeps her way to the top.
Yeah, Babyface.
Oh, I love that movie.
I think I'm going to show that too.
Really?
Well, it's either that or Night Nurse.
Oh, Night Nurse is great too.
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
Oh, they're also risque, but I guess why do they seem so risque? I guess
well, they're risque. They're just very honest about what people are like. But the thing is that they're not just risque. They're kind of a reassurance that human nature has been the same, that our grandparents and great-grandparents are experiencing the same emotions. I mean, that's the wonderful experience of art. When we read a poem from 500 years ago and we say, oh, wow, this person feels the way I feel. And whenever you have the censors clamping down, you really limit the possibility of that connection. And that's what was so bad about the code, and so wonderful about this pre-code period, which you know, and now we're in another pre-code period.
But I don't see women's stories being told the way women's stories are told here. Bette Midler recently said that she's very discouraged in Hollywood because they don't tell our stories. You know, we're sort of like just on the side. Very rarely do you get a whole story told like this one with Kay Francis.
Well, I would agree with you. It's a strange thing that in 1995, I think a survey was taken of the biggest stars. And the 17th and 18th stars were Julia Roberts and Demi Moore. So the first 16 were men. Whereas in 1931, or it was either 31 or 32, the top 6 stars were women. It was Garbo, Shearer, Crawford, Marie Dressler, Constance Bennett, and somebody else. And with Ruth Chatterton. But anyway, so it was a great age for women's pictures. But I think that the change that happened, it's just a demographic change. Women started watching TV or something in the mid-50s, and so they stopped making movies for that matinee audience that was a big audience for the women's film.
It's just too bad because it's the most fun when you get a strong man and a strong woman together.
Oh, it's great.
Not just the guy and some, you know, kind of like a bimbo type. You know, it's really nice when you get both people strong, then the fireworks really can happen.
Well, you know, Jan, it's embarrassing every year with the Oscars, you know, scrambling to find somebbe to nominate for Best Actress. There's nothing.
And supporting actress is crazy. But you got, everybody can celebrate and appreciate what Mick LaSalle is doing. He has a real passion for this. And I think it's exciting to talk about Before the Code, the modern woman in early Hollywood film. Here's the phone number once again. There it is, 510-642-4111. Oh, Mick, I'm so glad you're doing that. The last day to register is tomorrow, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's very important you get in there and register. All right, now, don't yell this on because I know you know the answer to this. We are going to give away this Laserdisc, A Time to Kill, a pretty darn good movie, okay? You know, we're not talking Norma Shearer, we're not talking, you know, but for the times and being that it's from a major Hollywood studio, it's all right. It's not one I'm ashamed to give out, let me put it that way. Courtesy of our friends at Laser City Home Entertainment, where they have wonderful classic movies available on Laserdisc, foreign films, The Wild Bunch. It's all available on Laserdisc at Laser City Home Entertainment on Market Street, a great place. Now, here's the question, and you call, and you can win this Laserdisc if you call quick. 1-800-94-BAY-TV is it? And the question is, he was an editor on Citizen Kane, because we just talked to Paul Sidor, who is an editor. Name this guy. He was an editor on Citizen Kane and The Magnificent Ambersons, and then he ended up directing When the Earth Stood Still, Klaatu Barada Nikto, and West Side Story. Name him if you think you know. 1-800-94-BAY-TV. So we will be back with you, and once again, thank you to our friend Mick LaSalle and Paul Sidor. So interesting, Mick. I just love what you're doing.
Oh, great.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.